The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to the CDBG Bootcamp Module Number 2, Introduction to Georgia's Community Development Block Grant Program. Our mission today is to discuss the fundamentals of the Georgia Community Development Block Grant Program, known as CDBG, and to provide an introduction to the terms and acronyms of the CDBG program. The legislation creating the program passed in 1974. The program has been around for a long time. It has been amended many times to evolve into the program as we know it today. As you can see in the primary objective, we have community development, housing, and economic development. The main focus of the CDBG annual competition is community development and housing needs in neighborhoods of low and moderate income families. Which communities can apply? The key term here is non-entitlement. The parameters here are for non-entitlement communities. Communities larger than this, the Atlantas, Macons, Savannahs, for example, are entitlement communities, and they get their money directly from HUD and don't compete with the non-entitlement communities. There are differences between these programs, so you may hear comparisons between non-entitlement and entitlement communities. Some rules and regulations are the same, but there are some large differences. You see here another important term, national objective. There are three which will be covered in the next slide. All activities must also be eligible. Later slides will cover eligible and ineligible activities. Here are the three national objectives. Of the three, the CDBG annual competition mainly deals with the first, low and moderate income benefit. The other two are primarily addressed through other set-aside programs here at DCA. What defines low and moderate income persons? These are families at 80% or less of area median income. This is determined on a household basis, considering the number of persons and the total income of the household. HUD produces tables where the income limits are listed for communities. These are located in the Applicants manual and can also be found online. We fund many different types of projects. Some are infrastructure in a specific neighborhood, while others are buildings serving a large community. HUD has come up with different ways to measure the benefit for these different types of projects. We have low mod area benefit, LMA, low mod clientele benefit, LMC, low and mod jobs, LMJ, and then we also have housing. You'll notice that the threshold for beneficiaries for the first three is 70%, but for housing, the threshold is 100% low and moderate income benefit. Area benefit projects will typically be infrastructure projects serving a defined geographic area. This could be as small as an area with 2 or 3 streets, or as large as an entire city. Area benefit applicants could also include 2 or 3 different target areas. In these cases, each area must meet the 70% low and moderate income threshold independently. This diagram shows an acceptable target area where all of the beneficiaries are within the target area outlined in red. And this diagram shows an unacceptable project where the beneficiaries extend beyond the limits of the target area, again outlined in red. We'll move on now to LMI clientele benefit. Clientele benefit projects are typically for buildings as described here. Anyone who uses the building will be counted as a beneficiary. Typical buildings include health centers, senior centers, boys and girls clubs, and battered women's shelters. There are some groups which HUD designates or presumes are 100% low and moderate income. Note that senior citizens are considered low and moderate income for a senior center, but they would not be considered low and moderate income for an area benefit project such as running water lines down a street. For housing projects, 100% of the beneficiaries must be low and moderate income. This is because housing is considered a direct benefit where the improvements are on private property. For economic development, the benefit threshold for jobs is 51%. Economic development is an eligible activity, but we do not see many economic development projects in the annual competition. The other two national objectives, removal of slum and blight and immediate threat and danger, are mainly addressed through our set-aside programs, not through our annual competition. Just a quick summary on the three national objectives and the different types of benefit. We have low and LM area, low and moderate income clientele, low and moderate income housing, and low and moderate income jobs. And again, the slum and blight and immediate threat and danger are primarily addressed through other set-aside programs. Here we're discussing the different types of eligible activities. Some projects will be for new water or sewer lines, and others will be for rehabbing water and sewer lines. Applicants during the annual competition may only be local governments, cities and counties. They primarily benefit low and moderate income persons or meet another national objective. Here's a list of ineligible activities. We do not fund operating and maintenance expenses, so no money for salaries or utility costs. No new city halls, no new county courthouses. This is a list of resources. You can also find this in your applicant's manual. Lots of good reading. If you have any questions, you can please submit those to the email address listed here, and please use the subject line Bootcamp Questions. We'll provide answers in reply and also at the workshop. We hope to see you there.